Yo, how's it going everybody? This is Julian over at Boss Labs. So today we're going over designing a business card and setting it up for print. But more importantly, we'll be going over how to use an online service to get them produced. My goal is to continue this series going over some of the products I've had made, such as t-shirts, tote bags, and stickers, as well as exploring new products and services to continue my unhealthy obsession with putting our logo and designs on everything. Anytime you're getting physical goods made, guidelines and specifications will need to be followed to increase the chance of your end product looking correct. Luckily, most online services, such as print houses, usually do a good job of providing those for you. Guidelines provided usually include your document size, bleed size, trim or final dimension, needed resolution to get a clean print, safe margins for things like images and text, the acceptable file type like JPEG or PDF, and the color mode needed, such as RGB or CMYK. Having to think about all those requirements and set up your own file sounds like a daunting task. Luckily, there's an easier way to get started by using a provided template. I've used Moo.com in the past to print my business cards, so let's get started with their template. On Moo.com, I'll go to Business Cards, Super Business Cards, and scroll to the middle of the page. Here we can see our guidelines in case we want to create our own starter file. But more importantly, we have a downloadable template in a few formats. We're using a vector workflow in Illustrator, so we'll download that one. We'll unzip the downloaded file and open the file inside of the portrait folder. If your design is in landscape, the download also contains the appropriate template. Here we have the template open in Adobe Illustrator, and the first thing we can see is that Moo does a great job providing us with the necessary information to successfully use their template. By using the provided template, some things like using the CMYK color mode are already set, but we'll go over most of the other provided guidelines while designing, so let's get to it. Before we get to putting our business card together, I'm going to bring in some guides by pressing Ctrl or Command R to show the rulers, and drag in some guides that align with the bounds provided in the template, as well as a center line. If we go to the layers, we can see that we have two layers. We'll be working with the Your Design layer and adding layers above it. Now for the front of the business card, we'll be going with a simple white logo and a black background. So with the rectangle tool selected, double click on the artboard and a dialog box will appear where we can input our dimensions. By looking at our template, we can see that our dimensions with bleed is 2.16 by 3.66 inches. We'll align the rectangle and remove the stroke. Now we need to make the fill of the shape black, but when working with CMYK for print, we can run into problems if we use the wrong black. Without going into too much detail, in print we have standard black and rich black, where standard black is created by adding 100% K or black, and rich black is created by mixing all four colors. Standard black is used for text and graphics with thin lines or small stroke widths, and rich black for large areas of solid black or large text with heavy weights. Although both blacks will look identical on screen, if we use standard black for our background, we'll notice that it looks dull and desaturated once printed. So with our background rectangle selected, we'll change our fill color to 50% cyan, 40% magenta, 40% yellow, and 100% black. There are other combinations to create rich black, but this has worked well for me so far. We'll bring in our logo, resize it, and align it. And there's the front of our business card done. We'll rename our layer to front and duplicate it by dragging the layer to the create new layer icon and rename it to back. On the back layer, we'll delete the logo and change the fill color to white. We'll be using our full logo for this side, so we'll bring that in. And make sure the color is rich black. We'll add our address and email and format our text. We'll be adding more info at the bottom, but let's break up the space a little to create some interest and visual hierarchy. Using the rectangle tool again, we'll create a black box, making sure it extends into the template's bleed area. We'll add an anchor point, and move it up to give it a peak. Now if we move our white background out of the way for a bit, we can see that our template has this pink section titled Bleed Area. Our backgrounds and the black box we just created need to extend into this area to make sure the color extends to the edge of our business card after it's been trimmed to its final dimension during production. Failing to do so might leave an unwanted white border on our final product. Next, we'll add our website and social media. And align it, making sure to keep it all inside of our designated safe area. Finally, we'll add some icons to help quickly identify the information. Our final exported file type will be a PDF, so to avoid creating a file with missing fonts or any other font related problems, we'll be outlining our text, or in other words, converting our text into shapes. Once this process is done, the text is no longer editable, so make sure to leave it to the end or duplicate your text to a new layer and keep that unconverted. To outline our text, we'll select all of our text and go up to Type, Create Outlines. We can see that our text is now split up into separate shapes made up of many anchor points. Finally, we get to export our files, but first let's go to our Layers tab and delete our Artwork Guidelines layer. And make sure only the front layer is visible. Now we'll go up to File, Save As, Adobe PDF. In the PDF settings, we'll make sure PDF X1A under Adobe PDF presets is selected as instructed by our guidelines and save. We'll do the same for the back layer. And we're ready to upload to Moo and order. Most online printing businesses have the same workflow of uploading your designs for print, but let's quickly go over the process on Moo.com. My preferred business card is a thick cardstock with a smooth matte finish, so we'll go up to Business Cards, Super Business Cards, choose Standard Size, Soft Touch, with squared corners. I'll choose 50 cards for now. Go down to Upload a Full Design, and click Start Making. On this screen we can finally upload our PDF files and take a look at a mock-up of our cards. Since we designed our cards using the provided template, the alignment should be perfect. Well, there you have it, creating a business card design in Illustrator for print. In this video, we went over some important concepts to keep in mind anytime you're looking to get something printed using an online printing service. The workflow we went over will be extremely similar when printing other products such as posters, brochures, and stickers. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll try to continue this series of putting our designs on physical goods. So like always, if you have any questions concerning what we talked about here today, or products you would like to see the design workflow for, hit us up in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.